Welcome ACC Interviews. I'm Callie, and today I'm here with Mr. Adamus. I would just like to ask you a few questions about your career, if that's fine with you.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, so what do you do for a living?
So I am in the military. Do you want to know what I do in the military?
Yeah, like what do you do exactly?
So for the military, I actually do. That's a good question. We do. Oh, I talk with my hands too. We are. We do retention for soldiers who are in the Army Reserve. We help transition soldiers from active Army to the Army Reserves, and we do contracts for soldiers who want to stay in. And my area covers the Northwest Indiana to Iowa border to Springfield, Illinois border. So I have like a big area.
And what's that like? Like, what would you describe it?
So it's a lot. It's a lot of talking with soldiers. So for a lack of better term, it'd be like a college or high school counselor for soldiers. So yeah, we help soldiers move throughout their career paths, whether they want to change jobs, whether they want to go back to the active duty side, or if they just want to stay in and continue what they're doing.
And when did you join the military?
Whew, 24 years ago,
And what would
June 3rd.
what would you say like is the most memorable memory of all your years you've been?
So my most memorable, I have a couple. My most memorable would have been actually joining the Army. So basic training is something that you don't forget. It humbles you. They give you one utensil, and if you don't pick right and you need a spoon, you get a fork. It's pretty hard to eat without a fork, so you learn to eat a lot with a spoon. So yeah, that'd probably be my most memorable time in the Army was when I first got in.
And how did you start your career? How did you?
What made me decide to join the Army?
Yeah.
So I wasn't a very good person. I was 24 years old. I got in some trouble, and the Army was someplace I went to go get fixed, and it actually worked out very well for me.
In what ways did it help you?
Discipline, a little bit of humility. I met some of like the coolest people in the Army. So like my friends that I met in the Army, I still talk to this day. So 24 years later, I have friends from the military. I think all around it gives you good qualities in life. Like I said, discipline was probably the main one. Definitely time management. They get you up at 4 in the morning and they plan your day
Yeah.
until it's lights out, we call it, or bedtime in your case, 10 o'clock. But yeah, like every hour on the hour, you have something to do. So it definitely helps with time management.
So would you give like a walkthrough of what do you go through?
So a walkthrough on what I went through. Holy cow! So like in the morning at 04, you wake up. You got like 15 minutes to get ready, and then be outside, and then you're standing in a formation. So oh good Lord, there was 60 of us in my platoon. There's 4 platoons. And then we'd go running or whatever exercise we had planned that morning. Most of it was running. They like to run a lot in the military. After that, we'd get back. We'd have like maybe 30 to 40 minutes to shower, change, and then go to breakfast. And then after that, it's training. So our training would be anything from classroom environment or the field environment. This depends what they had on store for that day. So a lot of times we'd go to like the weapons range, shoot rifles, which was pretty cool. We threw grenades. We had some obstacle courses we did. We had a lot of stuff that they planned throughout the day. And then, then you do afternoon chow. Usually that's in the field. And then after that, it's whatever else they had you deciding to do for the day. And then it's dinner time. We usually go back unless we're staying in the field. Usually we stay in the field for 3 days at a time in tents. Yeah, not very luxurious.
Would it be like 3 days without any food or?
No. So they give you food. So
Okay.
we have things called MREs, which are meal readies to eat. So it's like a little dehydrated package. You pour water in to hydrate it. And then being that you're in basic training, they still give you hot chow, they call it. So they would put in these mermics, which are like containers that they would heat it up. Someone else would cook it, and then they'd bring it to the field for you. So they feed you well. I'd say it's the best tasting, but they feed you well.
What motivates you to keep working?
Now, retirement. I'm like 5 years away from retiring. So I know younger people don't understand retirement, but I'll get a paycheck for the rest of my life. The most rewarding thing is like helping junior soldiers or youth. I think I really firmly believe everyone should join the military. I think it's a great career. I think the Army has a lot to offer. And then after 20 years of working, I mean, think about this. When you're 18 years old, if you join the Army at the age of 38, you can be retired and getting a paycheck for the rest of your life. So, and the Army has hundreds and hundreds of jobs. So it's not just like, I sound like a recruiter. I'm not a recruiter. But the Army has hundreds of jobs. So like you can do this, you can do journalism, you can play football, you can play baseball, you can be in the band, you can be a surgeon, you can be a lawyer. Heck, when I first joined the Army, I was actually a railroad track repair person. That job is horrible. However, it exists, and now they do, like, I got to get an engineer's license to operate a train. And then from there, I did Inspector General, so I have a little cool badge for IG.
Yeah, that is cool.
Which is like investigations, inspections, a lot of helping soldiers. So there's a lot of things the Army offers, and like I said, in 20 years you can actually retire. And some people like go get another job, whether they do school, whether they do something different, or they do nothing. They retire. So I'm looking forward to retirement.
And what would you say your life was like before you joined?
Oh, my life was horrible. No, my life was great. I was in college, but I was going down the wrong path. Like I said, I wasn't a good person. So I like to believe between the Army and my spouse now, who's my girlfriend at the time, like they saved me. So yeah, I think. Yeah.
And how would you describe your job to a 5-year-old?
It's really cool. You get to shoot things. No. What I would tell a 5-year-old, I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. What would I tell her about my job? You exercise a lot. You exercise a lot. We do a lot of cool stuff. You actually, I wouldn't tell them you get to shoot things because that's not cool to a 5-year-old. How would I describe it to just exercise? I would explain the exercise piece, and then the sleeping and the waking up, because I think it's good that 5-year-olds know what a pattern looks like.
Yeah. And what would you
That's a good
say is
question.
like the cool stuff that you said that you would explain?
The cool stuff.
Yeah.
So it depends on your job, right? The military doesn't have, every job isn't like go blow stuff up, right? We have engineers that blow stuff up. We have people that jump out of planes or helicopters. We have people who fly helicopters, right? So it depends on what your job is. The cool stuff for me, it's going to sound boring, but it's the reward I get from talking to junior soldiers that come back and thank me for helping them on their career path, and then, or giving them a different aspect or sight of the Army, so they don't know, or they know how or what they want to do next. And then just to see them grow and get promoted and then come back and say, hey, thanks. That's the cool stuff for me.
And did you have someone you looked up to?
In the military?
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, not really. I did as I got older though. Like when I first joined, it wasn't because I looked up to someone joining. And my grandfather was in the military, my cousin, my uncles. But I didn't think about their service until after I got in. Like that wasn't part of my decision making process. And then when I did get in, I had this awesome master sergeant who would be where I'm at today. She was my boss, Sarah Schultz, Master Sergeant Sarah Schultz. She was. At first, we butted heads. We were like oil and water because we were one and the same. Like our work ethics, our pride. We both wanted to win. So like once we got to sit down and find out more about each other, like that was the person I looked up to. She was awesome. She's now retired and living in Prague, so good for her.
And so, like, would you say you received any advice that helped you, whether it's from the Army or?
Oh, of course. A lot of advice you would get is, and I think when you're young you hear this a lot, like people say, oh, you got all this potential, right? So when I joined the Army, I've never heard no one tell me I have all this potential. I heard them say that, I see your potential, or you're actually living up to your potential. So everyone in the Army, for the most part, whether you see it when you first get in or not, because people motivate differently, right? So the way people motivate could either be that tough love, or it could be that encouraging, type of love. But almost everyone I've met in my Army career, they actually, like, no one has been negative. So we're a brotherhood. Like, everyone
All
wants
the
you.
family.
Everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to see you do better. So that's awesome. Most jobs aren't like that.
Yeah, I love that. That's all for that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for all watching. Thank you, Mr. Adamus, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.